off those mines and bury those mills? Pronto! So, where are my heroes? Which of you brave troopers is up to the task? You're kidding me.
It's 1 part shooter, 1 part platformer, 2 parts batteries not included. That was an awesome movie. It's Metal Arms, Glitch in the System for the Nintendo GameCube. So this is a pretty interesting game. It was released back in 2003, and it came to all the major platforms. PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, and of course, the GameCube. And again, it's like, you take WALL-E, and instead of being a movie about pollution, just make it a video game about war. That's Metal Arms. It's actually kind of adorable, which is weird because the title doesn't sound that way. Metal Arms sounds a lot more menacing than Glitch in the System actually is. I mean, it is a shooter, but with, like, character.
Hey, Crunk, were you able to repair our mystery bot?
Of course I f***ing fixed him. It was a huge pain in the f***ing waistband, because he's some kind of custom jobby, but nothing I couldn't handle. Some of his memory chips were fried, so he'll need a new data upload. But after that, he should be as good as f***ing new.
Huh. Does his ID chip still function?
Yeah, says his name is Glitch.
All right, Glitch. Welcome to the Droid Rebellion.
So what do I mean by that? Well, he plays this adorable little robot named Glitch, and Glitch lives on this alien world, populated by adorable little robots. What makes Metal Arms so interesting is that contrast between character and content. You have all these cutesy robots trying to kill each other. So you have all-out gunfights between big-eyed droids. You blow them to pieces, and sometimes the legs still stumble around without a body. It's like the most adorable annihilation you've ever seen. And you know, a lot of the game's character comes from its voice talent. There's some incredibly talented people lending their voices to Metal Arms. How about Rob Paulson, from none other than Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Nickelodeon's TMNT, the original TMNT. Dude's a 2-time turtle, a boss, not to mention Dan Castellaneta, who you might know as Homer freaking Simpson. These voices really help bring these characters to life.
Yo, you gonna go for one more?
You got a screw loose, kid? What the hell do you know about fighting mills, newbie?
Nada. But you got any other options, Chief?
Yeah, well, learn fast or die trying.
So I like the characters, I love the concept, I just wish the environments were as memorable as the rest of the game. I mean, on the one hand, I like the notion of driving home that contrast, right? Having these cute characters in these dark, shadowy, mechanical worlds. That's cool in theory, but at times it feels a little too dark, a little too shadowy. It'd be nice if the game's worlds were as colorful as its personality. Now, of course, this is a shooter, and so as you'd expect, there's shooting. Actually, Metal Arms reminds me of a game like Ratchet & Clank. It's really just an old-school 3D platformer in terms of its level design, but with the gameplay of a third-person shooter. There are bullets flying all over the place in this game. You go from one gunfight to another, and along the way, it's like a platformer from the Nintendo 64. And there's actually a lot of depth to the game's shooting mechanics. Glitch can use some seriously powerful weaponry, and he finds a ton of it. All kinds of laser beams and Gatling guns and rocket launchers. It's crazy how much devastation this little guy can cause. And as you move through the game's 40 levels, there's always something to devastate. And usually a large group of those somethings. So this all sounds good, right? It sounds great. And it would be, but there's a few issues. And for starters, that level design. It's a little too open, I guess. I mean, for a game so focused on action, the levels could be a little more straightforward. And actually, I think some of that might be on the graphics, because the environments aren't only dark, but they can be really blurry too. So it can be hard to tell doors from walls, and places to go from walls. Now, on the other hand, the character models look amazing. The amount of detail here is insane, especially for such an early GameCube title. They clearly put a lot of effort into these robots, and they look fantastic. Of course, the drawback to that is you use up the system's power, so the environments take a hit. As does the frame rate, which is one of the game's biggest problems, actually. During the gunfights, it takes a serious dip. Now, I don't think Metal Arms got much attention when it was released. which sadly is perhaps expected. When you have this super serious genre like a shooter mixed with this kind of theme, well, you risk being too cute for shooter fans and too complex for younger gamers. I think that's where Metal Arms sits. But attention be damned, that's a sweet spot for me. It's like Battalion Wars with robots, and that's awesome. Great theme, great audio, great gameplay. On the negative side, maybe it could control a bit tighter, and the levels could be a bit more clear for sure. But on the whole, this is a good GameCube game. If you're like me, it's one you might have overlooked back then. So, in a way, with this, you could play a new GameCube game in 2014. Nothing cooler than that. Well, except maybe Wall-E with a bazooka. It's Metal Arms glitching the system.